Hello, my name's Will. I'm a hobbyist in Australia. This channel's mainly going to be about aquatic plants, but yeah, may move into other plants. Anything I'm interested in, really, gardening, whatever. Okay, first up, we have these grow boxes from Bunnings. Now, in here is a plant, mostly one plant, which is Crypt Flamingo. Now this was a tissue culture that I bought, and I planted it out into mainly terrestrial mix, so just normal potting mix from Bunnings. I believe the Osmocote was used. And yeah, the reason we do this with a tissue culture instead of planting it directly into a aquarium substrate in an actual aquarium is because this way you get much better survival. And as when you plant a tissue culture, it's actually really small. And the problem with that is crypts always melt, like every time you move them. And they won't have the reserves to grow from those little, what they call the reason crypts are named crypts, cryptocorenes, are because of these little spiral-like bulbs that they have. And if they haven't developed those yet, then basically after the crypt melts, it won't survive. So by putting them into pots, and you only need to grow them out for a couple of months, you can sort of encourage them to grow those structures. And then when you plant them into an aquarium substrate, it'll die down and then it'll shoot back strong. So this being Crypt Flamingo, as you can see, it's looking very green. The reason we grow Crypt Flamingo is because it goes bright pink. So when we're setting it up, we want a highlight aquarium, and the easiest way to have a highlight aquarium is by pumping lots of CO2 through it. So that's the sort of aquarium we'll be setting up. I'm going to walk you through the CO2 reactor I use, why I use a CO2 reactor rather than any other CO2 delivering system. Yeah, basically why we do everything the way we do. As you can see, I've got a lot of flamingo here to plant out. This has actually been growing for 2 years, but like I said, it'll reach this size in a couple of months because most aquatic plants can also grow in a terrestrial way, as long as they have enough humidity and they never dry out. And these little Bunnings grow boxes are actually perfect for that. We'll just look around the other things I've been growing out. Oh geez, this box is a bit yeah, a bit overgrown. I'm not even going to get into how much stuff there is there. But yeah, you got, what is that, hydrocotyl tripartita, some, yeah, I think it's Crypt Bullinsay, really long leaves. But yeah, these little grow boxes are great as long as you tape over the ventilation holes. What else have we got? Okay. And you fill the bottom with water, and best of all, if you use a heating mat, that can really encourage fast growth. I think the only trouble I've had with these grow boxes are where I haven't used shade cloth over the top, and I'm finding that I need 2 layers of shade cloth over the top because things like Bucephalandra are shade-loving plants, and if they don't get enough shade, they will just melt. And as you can see, the ones closest to me are where all the light is, and they've just melted back. But they've started to regrow, whereas the ones at the back have never melted, and they're just growing really nice and tall. So these are normally aquatic plants that you'll see in an aquarium, but growing them outside the aquarium, you just get faster growth. And that means you'll always have material ready to move into your tanks when you want. And there'll be like crypts, there'll be a transition period where they lose their leaves a bit and they really look like they're struggling and taking a while to adapt, but then they recover. And the rhizome, or the stem in the case of Buce, is where you'll get new plants from. And yeah, so that's why you always want to grow to nice big specimens, because those will come back and you'll get the underwater leaves, and in a lot of cases the underwater leaves are the only ones that have color. And yeah, you'll have a really nice display. Now these ones are the tissue culture Bucephalandra brownie ghost. It's a bit of a controversial in that the people who were tissue culturing it couldn't actually name what year edition of brownie ghost it was. You know, you have different types of brownie ghost 2011, etc. And what you grow brownie ghost for is its purple leaves that it has underwater. And from what I've seen of this so far, I haven't seen many purple leaves, but it's growing above water, so I can't really say anything negative about it just yet. But no matter, we'll see when we see. But yeah, I guess know what you're growing. Tissue cultures are a great way to get lots of plants. And the best way I find to propagate them quickly is to grow them in little pots like this, and just, yeah, 2 layers of shade cloth, a heating mat underneath, and yeah, there's so little material in a tissue culture that you just want to get a decent sized length, like at least minimum 6 leaves, then tie that to a rock and submerge it and just see what colors come out. Most of the plants that are bought, Facebook Marketplace or any of the Facebook groups, they come with a label, and they're just, all you do is tie your label to your rock. Of course, label your pots as well. Yeah, just see what sort of colors you get. Different conditions always produce different colors. And what have we got here? Park Helena. Okay, yeah. Helena is a good one. That's a type of Buce. What is this? Yeah, large red stem. That's a good one. Alexis Rainbow is another favorite of mine, because when it's underwater, the new growth will come out red. And it's got a lot of bluish, purplish colors through the leaves as well, although mostly being green. But the new red colored leaves that come out underwater are what you really grow it for, and it's got nice big leaves. So yeah, that's the reason. And you know, you can have tanks melt with Buce, but I find as long as I've got these little pots going, I can always just start again, because Buce that is grown out of the water is a lot more stable, I guess. You don't have a sudden change in water parameters and then melting. This is Anubias White, and again, yeah, no complaints about growing it immersed. Actually, it's so beautiful, I would stick it in a terrarium. It's a really lovely plant, and you know, if I ever feel like it, I can cut a bit off, chuck it in the water, transition it, wait a few months till it starts growing its own leaves. Because underwater leaves are different from leaves that grow above water. But actually, I just like growing it like this. To me, you know, indoor plant collectors love things like Monstera albo. I like this more than albo, because its white variegation doesn't brown off. It's true, it has to be kept in a terrarium, but still, yeah, I really like this plant. That's a fern that's just grown by itself. Yeah, what is this? Oh, yeah, so Bucephalendra neo. That's a really nice one. The colors that come out of it, pinks and purples. So yeah, when that gets big enough, I'll be cutting bits off that and just sticking them in my tank and seeing what we can get. So yeah, that's a look at all my immersed plants. And next video, I'll show you how I'm setting up my tank, my CO2 reactor, what sort of light I have, and yeah. Until then, I'll see you later. Thank you.